Hey guys, welcome to lesson 23 of my no bowl guide to jazz piano. Today we have a Mixolydian diminished jazz etude to share with you. Let me go ahead through and play it for you so you can hear what it sounds like. We're going to do it a little bit slower, but I'm going to play it a little faster. All right, so let's get started on this. So our goal today is to learn both the Mixolydian and the whole half diminished scales. You're going to learn another etude, this etude, all right? We just did one the other day, the scale cells etude. And I'm also going to show you what it is you should be practicing. All right, we're going to be using this Advanced Blues number 4, this iReal Pro backing track. You can download that right off the website as a member of the site. All right, so let's get right into this. All right, so first of all, on this very first one, we're going to move our thumb out of the way on this C7 chord. So we're actually not even going to play that D. We're going to come right up this Mixolydian scale. Now, what I'm going to do is, again, a lot of times they're not fingering in jazz stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the fingering. You could write it in if you want. This fingering is the same fingering as your C major scale. So it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all right? So if it's a C major scale fingering, I'll just say it's a C major scale fingering, and by that I mean 1, 2, 3, cross underneath, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all right? So this is a C major scale fingering. This is a Mixolydian scale, and I'm not going to dive too deep into like what these scales are, but Mixolydian is basically a major scale with a flatted seventh. So we take our major scale and we flat the seventh. The Mixolydian scale works great over dominant seventh chords. Not that you would necessarily play the Mixolydian scale like I'm doing here, for a blues improvisation, but this is an etude, and an etude is designed to help just teach you some scales in a way that sounds kind of fun. It's almost like a song. All right, and then now next we move on to the F7. And we do that Mixolydian scale. That is the same fingering as your F major scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, see, you have that flatted seventh in there. So, and then we go back to our C Mixolydian scale. Okay, so let's just do the first 3 measures, okay, with the left hand and right hand. Nice and slow, go. Okay? And what you're trying to do in this is you're trying to get that fluidity from one measure to the next, one scale to the next. Okay, that's what you're looking for, is to get that fluidity. F, C. All right, so now, moving on, here on the G minor we have just a 4-note cell, and a lot of times I'll just call these 4-note groupings just cells, because this could be out of Dorian, it could be, you could just be thinking of it in terms of minor with a root in the minor third and 9 in the 11, okay? So I'm just thinking of this as a G minor cell, and then same thing for C7 as well. Now, this improvisation right here, again, I'm just laying it out. It's not like you really want to play it like this. The reason is that look at where the F is resolving. It then you might want to resolve down a step instead to the E flat. But anyway, for this etude, it's a good idea. It's a good way of just practicing these scales. Now, when we move to the F, this is an arpeggio. It's this, then to that. So F7, then to this. Oops, sorry. And then here, fingering rise, 5, 3, 2, 1, 5, 3, 2, 1. Let's go back over here for the fingering for this. So this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1, 2. Okay, so I cross over, and then to the F7, I go to the 5, 5, 3, 2, 1, 5, 3, 2, 1. And then make sure you get your second finger on this F sharp whole half diminished scale. Let me just, these are the notes of your whole half diminished scale. Okay, so let me bring it down here for a second, and let's talk about this scale a little bit more. So you start on the F sharp, you go up a whole step, then go up a half, a whole, a half, a whole, a half, a whole, and then a half. So what you'll notice is you see that you have the F sharp diminished scale in there, and or F sharp diminished chord rather, and you also have this other diminished chord, okay, that's a whole step higher. So you have an F sharp diminished chord and a G sharp diminished chord stacked on top of one another. So if I played F sharp diminished right there and G sharp diminished right there, and you take a look at those notes, and if I just bring them down one at a time, bring it down here. All right. I have to bring that down, okay? Can't mash them all down. All right, so that's the scale. So it's 2 stacked diminished chords. And this is actually kind of a cool sound as well, just like that as well. So we use that whole half diminished scale when we are improvising over a diminished chord. So before we talked about the half whole diminished scale. So the half whole diminished scale is great when improvising over a dominant chord, especially a dominant chord with a flatted ninth. The whole half diminished scale, right? You see how it's just the opposite, half whole, and now this is whole half. This is used when improvising over a diminished chord. Okay? Now, one way that I like to just remember that is, okay, diminished whole, all right? So diminished whole, I know I have to go up a whole step. And as soon as I know it's a whole step, then I know the next thing is a half step, whole half. Diminished is whole half. Now, fingering wise for this, I'd go 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then we end up on C7. So I end up hitting 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is Mixolydian. Okay, we can see this is all part of that Mixolydian scale. And then in the E minor, another cell. So what we have, I'd hit my second finger on the B. Right, just a 4-note, well actually a 3-note cell. That's the 5th, the root, and the 7th. Another cell. 1, 2, 3, 5. And then cross underneath and hit your thumb for the D minor. And here you're going to be playing your Dorian scale, all white notes, D to D. And that's the same fingering as C major scale. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And then G, you're going to hit your thumb here, then cross over 4th finger. This is your altered scale. We've talked about that scale before. Remember to form that altered scale, it's the same thing as an A-flat melodic minor scale starting on G. All right, so go back to the previous lesson there if you need to learn how to form that altered scale. So, and then back to another cell. So this is 5, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 5, and then another cell. 7, 5, 11, 3, and then an arpeggio for the G7. G7 arpeggio. You see how I just moved my thumb out of the way for that G7 chord? Okay. And we go back to the C7, all right? All right, so let's go through the entire thing again. And this time, we'll just do it measure by measure, all right, nice and slow. So start on that C7, and then go to the F7, and then back to C7 Mixolydian, then G minor, C7, and then F7 arpeggio, and then cross over. Make sure second finger on the F sharp, and then E minor, and D minor, and then G7. Altered scale, thumb, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, and then 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 5. And then here, 5, you can hit 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1 right there, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then 4, 3, 2, 1 for the G7. And when you go back to the C7, all right, when you go back to that C7 after playing 4, 3, 2, 1, you'll probably want to hit your second finger there, 2, 3, 4, and then just cross underneath and hit F with the thumb. Sorry, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you're back on track from there. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I have it printed in front of me. If you're a member of the site, go ahead and download the sheet music. This will make it a lot easier for you to be able to see all of this. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put on the band track, and we're going to repeat this 2 times, and I'm going to drop the tempo down to 100. All right, when I first started playing it, I was playing at 140. Okay, so this would drop it down considerably, and let's just go through it, head through and play it. Oh, and you know, one thing is, let's just go through and play just the right hand for 2 times through. Okay, just the right hand. Nice job. All right, so now you might have played that and you might have played it along with me and everything went smoothly. Or you might have played it and made a whole bunch of mistakes and you're like, Willie, it's going way too fast for me. All right, well, the benefit is with this iReel track, you can change the tempo and change the repeats and all of that. And then as a member of the site, you can go ahead and download this iReel track and play along with it. The other thing too is that, you know, this stuff does take time, so be patient. And the reason I'm playing it at this tempo is that I want you to kind of hear how it's all going to sound. So even though you might not be able to play it at this tempo just yet, you will be able to get there. Now, why do you learn this kind of stuff? You learn this kind of stuff because it helps with the dexterity of your fingers. I mean, take a look at what's going on here. You have nothing but a steady stream of eighth notes in the right hand, and you have to move your hands into different positions and playing different scales. So it's a great way of learning these different scales like Mixolydian, altered, whole half diminished. It's a great way of improving your hand positioning and getting down fingering so that when you're improvising on the fly, your hands are not getting jammed up. And it's also improving your dexterity and fluidity at the instrument. So these etudes are really, really good. You shouldn't look at them as like, hey, this is an improvisation. I could just play this and this is my improv. No, you want to play a steady string of eighth notes like this. It's going to sound a little bit boring. But all the raw material is there for you then to be able to do stuff with that, with those notes. So what can you do? First of all, isolate and play the Mixolydian and the whole half diminished scales. So, and I should change this just so it says Mixo, all right? So, oops, I see, that's why. I did do Mixo before, but My autocorrect said, no, 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 no. I'm going to learn that. All right, so play the Mixolydian and the whole half diminished scales by themselves. So like, practice Mixolydian. Oh, okay, now whole half diminished. Whole half, whole half, whole half. All right, so you kind of see the C Mixolydian, see the C whole half diminished, okay? So, make sure that you isolate those scales and you work on those scales individually. Next, play the right hand by itself to get the proper fingering, like we just did. Then play the right hand by itself with the backing track, and then add those chords when you feel comfortable. All right, so add the chords as soon as you feel comfortable. And then start to mess around with the notes. So what I mean by that is, you got these, Mixolydian notes, and you got those Mixolydian notes. So when you're playing C7, try messing around with C7, right? Or what you could do is, again, this is the nice thing, is put on the backing track and then just do this, just loop this. So you see, all I'm playing is I'm playing the C Mixolydian when playing C7, I'm playing the F Mixolydian when playing F7. And you notice that I'm not always starting on C and then not always starting on F. Sometimes, like when I went to the F. Right, so I'm kind of messing around with the rhythm and messing around with the direction of the notes and what note I'm starting on. Adding in some of those turns as well that we've talked about, okay, that kind of has a nice flair to it, and just playing around with the rhythm, all right, just trying to internalize those notes, because that's what it is that you really want to be able to do, is you want to be able to internalize those notes, and the best way of doing that is to isolate the chord, play the scale, and kind of jam on it, then go to the next chord, isolate it, and then jam on it, all right? And of course, participate in the jam session. If you're interested in the getting the full sheet music and all of those backing tracks, just pay attention to this. Thanks for joining me in today's lesson. If you're watching this video on YouTube and you'd like to get the resources, just follow the link right below this video and you can grab those resources. Now, right now I have a special going on for the month of April 2020, okay? You can get access to my No Bowl piano membership and get all of the resources, the backing tracks, the iReal Pro tracks, and all of the lessons. Watch them as much as you want, and it's only $9.95 a month paid annually. Just go ahead and, again, follow the link right below this video. If you'd like to participate in the jam, check out that video. It's part of the playlist. And then just go right over to our Facebook group, No Bowl Piano, and go ahead and sign up there. You'll see all are welcome to join. It doesn't matter if you're a member, it doesn't matter if you're a beginner, it doesn't matter if you're a seasoned professional. All are welcome to join and share their playing. It's a great way of staying accountable, of getting feedback, and just putting yourself out there and putting out some art and beauty into the world. So I suggest that you do it. And then, of course, if you like the video and you're on YouTube, please hit the like button, and also please subscribe and turn on notifications so that you know when I come out with new videos. That's it for me. Thanks a lot, guys, and I'll see you in the next lesson.